So, question one. What inspired me to become a snake catcher? Well, the answer to that question. I've always loved animals. I've always loved animals. I've always been interested in wildlife, and I think I was probably inspired by watching shows like David Attenborough, obviously, and Jacques Cousteau, and all those sorts of things. When I was young, my dad used to take me to with him when he practiced golf, and I would disappear. He used to think that I would be able to go out and fetch the balls for him after he hit them out into the paddock, and I used to just disappear into the creeks, into the swamplands, and catch lizards and frogs and snakes. And I think I was probably about 10 years old when I had my first tiger snake in my bedroom. I kept it, I caught it, and I kept it in a little glass tank next to my bed. And my dad always encouraged me. He thought I would grow up to be a famous biologist like David Attenborough, but it turns out I dropped out of school, so I missed out on all of that. But I did become a snake catcher, and I do love doing it. I love being able to rescue the animals, and I've always had a fascination for them. So, I've got a few places here in Mornington, Victoria, that they've allowed me to release snakes onto their property as they're rewilding their sheep farms or cattle farms, and they're replanting it, and they want to restore the balance of nature, and they're aware enough to realise that the snake is a part of that balance, and it's needed to just to make for a good environment. I suppose during the summer I might get 15, 20 phone calls a day. Just a lot of the time it's just asking people asking me for advice, and they want to know what to do with their snake that they've got on the property. These phone calls might result in about maybe 4 or 5 actual call-outs that I go and catch the snake and I relocate them, or rescue them if they need rescuing. Sometimes they're stuck in tin cans and rubbish and things like that, so I just go and remove them and let them go. If they need to get vet attention, if they're injured, I'll take them to my vet who specialises in reptiles, and he'll be able to fix them up, and then I get them back and we release them. The most common snakes that we get here where I live are tiger snakes, which are probably in the top 10 most deadliest animals on the planet. As far as their venom toxicity goes. Their reputation is overrated though, because they're not aggressive, they're not dangerous unless you actually interact with them somehow. You have to step on them or try to kill them or hurt them or scare them to initiate a bite. So most of the time the snake will try to get away from us. Actually, all the time. If the snake is given an avenue of escape, it will take that avenue of escape. I've been doing this for 40 years, and I've never been attacked by a snake, and I've never been chased by a snake. I've had a few tricky jobs where I've had to remove them from inside the chassis of cars, and sometimes I get called out to underneath decks and underneath houses and up in roofs and things like that. They're pretty much the trickier ones that I have to do. And when they're in long grass, obviously, that can be very hard to find. If they're in bushes like Agapanthus, which is a weed here in Australia and Victoria, they're very tricky to get out of. I have been called out to some strange places too, so I get called out to schools and nursing homes, and I got called out to a sex shop once, and a big python had gotten into the sex shop and had started knocking all the toys off all the shelves, and when I got there the place was a mess, but fortunately the snake was a tame one, somebody's escaped pet, and I just picked it up and got on with it. It was very good. What are the best parts and the worst parts of my job? Well, obviously the best parts is when I catch the snake and when I can convince the landowner or the person who called me that the snake isn't an evil killing machine and they're not out to get us. And we should be able to live with them. I mean, we do live in Australia, and we are living with the most dangerous snakes in the world, and we have to actually learn to live with them. We can't just kill them willy-nilly, because that doesn't help. You could be killing snakes day and night, and you can still be getting snakes on your property. It's not good for your head, and it's not good for the environment. But the snakes are very necessary in this environment. The worst parts are when I go out to get a snake and it's already been killed. They ring me up, and then 5 minutes before I get to the house, they ring me and say, "Oh, I've killed it. Oh, it's okay. You don't have to come now." So that's very annoying, and a little bit depressing when the amount of people that will tell me a good snake is a dead snake, and get the shovel and all that sort of stuff. I was at one job where there's a 12-year-old kid, a couple of kids there, and I said to the guys, I said, "So what are you kids going to do when you see a snake?" And the 12-year-old kid is turned around and he said, "I'm going to kill it." I said, "Well, that's just crazy. You're going to get yourself bitten if you try to kill a snake. Like I said, they're only going to bite you if you scare them or try to hurt them." So, like I said, I've never been bitten by a snake, I've never been attacked by a snake, and I've never been chased by a snake. Their reputation is highly overrated. While they are venomous and they're deadly and all that, they're very shy and very gentle, and they're very, very scared of us. When a snake looks up at us, all they see is a giant predator trying to kill them and eat them. That's all they think. And they will either fight or they'll flee. And if you give them a chance to get away, they will always take that chance. Was there ever a point in my career when I've been nervous around snakes? Not really. I don't get nervous around snakes. I just don't feel any fear when it comes to snakes. Now, if you say the same thing about women or children or horses, it would be a different answer. But, no, snakes have never been an issue for me. I just walk up to them, I treat them like with respect, and they seem to respond well to me. You know, I know which way to zig and which way to zag, so I can handle a snake without getting bitten. It just comes naturally, I think. The fear of snakes is biblical, actually. It comes from that little black book, and it's also put into us by our parents. The fear of snakes is not something that we are born with. We are not hardwired to be scared of snakes. The fear has always been one that has been learned. So, when we're born as babies, we only have two fears. With the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. And every other fear after that is put into us by our mum or our dad. So, I'm happy to do this show for you. I'm happy to do whatever you need if you get back to me. Probably easy to ring me, but my name is Barry Goldsmith. My business is Snake Catcher Victoria, and I'm here to change attitudes. That's all I want to do. I don't care about anything else. I just want Australian people to act like Australians. I've noticed Australian people are very bad at being Australian because they seem to just want to kill things, and if they don't understand it, they want to chop its head off or they want to kill it. Chopping a snake's head off is illegal in Australia. We are not allowed to do that. It's classed as animal cruelty because while the body wriggles around with nerves, the head is still alive and she's watching you. That little head is watching you. She's waiting for you to pick her up. A lot of people do get bitten when they bend down to pick up their head because the head has watched you put her body into the rubbish bin, and then she's still watching when you bend down to pick up her head. So, and all that's going through that little head is fear and probably pain too. So for 15 minutes that animal is still alive and still in terrible pain. And the further back you cut the head, like if you cut the snake in half, there's a good chance that snake could be living in pain and in fear for 24 hours. So this is why it's called animal cruelty. It's illegal because all Australian animals are protected by law. You're not allowed to touch them, you're not allowed to hurt them, unless you have the right permits or the right licensing, which I do. But I don't kill snakes. If ever I have to kill a snake, it makes me sad. It's usually because the snake has been terminally injured by a dog or a car or a human with a shovel. We get a lot of that. So I hope that's good enough for you. I'm going to send this little video to you, and you can tell me what you think, yeah? Cheers.